Hey guys, welcome to the CEC podcast. This is our second episode of this. My name is Zakary Cheatham, and with me tonight I have
EJ Flemming.
All right, so last week we had, like I said, it was the very first podcast. It was something we were both pretty nervous about.
Yeah,
well, particularly me. I think you weren't as nervous.
Yeah, I'm not as nervous as I used to be when it comes to this.
Yeah.
I'm used to talking in front of a camera and a mic. If I go to a doctor, though, I'm gonna freak out because I have. You ever heard of white coat syndrome?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I believe I have that very heavily, and when I go to the doctor, I don't like it.
Oh no.
Everything in my body says get out, but I'm like, I gotta know if there's anything wrong.
Yeah.
No, you really don't. Hey, just keep going, and if it's the end, hey, it's the end. But
Oh, I have what I can only believe is some form of social anxiety. I let that actually be known on Instagram.
Oh yeah, it's best to talk about it. It's best to talk about it and let people be aware of it, so it doesn't come off as just being cold and obnoxious.
Yeah,
like if I'm not talking to you in public, it's not because I'm being the cold, aloof celebrity. I don't know what to say.
Well, the weird thing for me, though, most of the time is that I'm more afraid of talking to someone than I actually am talking to someone. I'm more scared of the idea of talking to someone than I am of actually talking to that person. That's what's weird about it.
I guess I believe that makes some
So I don't know.
sense.
That's why I don't know if it's a form of social anxiety or if it's just me being super shy.
I think that sounds more like being shy.
As I'm not like awkward. At least that's not how I feel anyway around people most of the time, and most people I seem to get along with.
You get along with people just fine, but they got to have a common interest.
Right. That's the thing. That's the thing of having
like movies,
common
no.
interest.
TV, no. Music, no. Video games, no.
I'm lost. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to talk about after that. I'm stumped.
Yeah, that was when I had a job. I worked at like the shipyard, and most of the guys there are just I don't know. They're more into sports. They're almost always talking about football or basketball, which I like playing, but I don't like talking about it. I don't watch the NFL. I don't watch NBA. I mean, my favorite sport is baseball, but I don't even watch MLB. So I cannot have a conversation about it.
You are
or
not
at least keep up, or even
you
think
are
a
not the
conversation
sportsman, even though you like to wear plaid.
Yeah. No, I like to play them. That's what I mean. I like to play football. I can't play it anymore. I can't play pretty much anything anymore, but because of my ankle injury. But I mean, I like playing them, but I don't like watching them. I don't like watching other people do it. It's kind of the same thing I have with video games. I like playing video games whenever I do play a video game. I don't go out of my way usually to play video games, but I do play some games, and I'd rather play than watch people play video games.
I'm the same way, but it depends on the game. Yeah. I like it's something like Detroit that Become Human that's coming out next month. I would watch people play that game because the game was all about choices. Right. And each gameplay is going to be different from the next one because everybody's brains are different. Yeah. So I want to see what they choose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What their outcome is. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll be fresh and organic because it's their choices and their reactions to their own choices. Yeah.
And I was watching, I think it was the H3 podcast the other day with Ninja on there, and he was talking about how the gaming is basically like the NFL now, how they can draw, esports, that's what it is, can draw in pretty much almost the same kind of numbers as some NFL games.
Yeah, especially with the Overwatch League starting up, the E-League on TBS. There's a lot of esports on the scene now. That's
I would like to think though that that I don't think it has the same kind of that. You know how people would go out and watch an NFL game during a season. Do you think that if they were to do something like that, if it was like a seasonal thing, or maybe even if it was a year-round thing, that they would be able to draw in that, still be able to draw in that kind of numbers from like a real life audience, not from a watching online audience? Or do you think it could only exist on online audience?
Well, you got to take into account you have things like the Capcom Pro Tour.
Well, I know they have tours.
Okay. Yeah, like they have like the way these things work, like the Capcom Pro Tour, for example. They're like smaller tournaments where they pick the winners from, and then they have like a finals somewhere in like an arena of some kind, where you go watch all the winners from all these other tournaments playing like one final tournament for the grand prize.
Dang.
And it's like, it's interesting. That's why it's called the Pro Tour. Like, and when you go to a Capcom Pro Tour sponsored event, the winner of that event goes on to the finals.
Okay.
So it has weight to it.
Yeah. So they do have something similar.
And then also, like, just recently, if you didn't know, they've been playing the Capcom Pro Tour tournament finals on ESPN.
Really?
Yeah. So there is a television audience for it too.
Yeah, see that shows how much I know about esports.
Yeah,
I don't know too much
because
about
like fighting games are like the main esports scene, and shooters have only recently became just as big. Because you would like Evo is like the granddaddy of fighting game tournaments, and then they would even play the Evo finals on ESPN now too.
Man,
it's like you would go watch the Evo finals and be like, okay, this is the Street Fighter finals. These are the Smash Brothers finals. You know.
See, that's why I was thinking if it was like a touring event, then yeah, I think it can bring in an audience if they go to the right places. But as far as like there being a home team, like a home game of people coming in every other week or so to watch something like that within a mass audience like a football game does, I'm curious if it would be able to do something like that.
Yeah, Overwatch has like teams like that. Where they have like East, they have teams like states, and like states have teams. They would go like you can go to the Overwatch League website and actually buy your favorite team's jersey.
Man.
Yeah, and even to the point where all the characters in Overwatch have a color scheme based on your favorite Overwatch team. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wishing that there was something like that for movie. I even when I watch movie trivia stuff, because I have such bad recall though on so many things, it's so hard for me to pull out of there. I need more training, I think, is what it is. Because I watch so many movies, but I don't return. And I don't pick up on those little things that trivia people pick up on. So that's the problem. If I don't usually, I very rarely
you can tell what the movie's called and who's in it. But if you ask you about plot details, you might be a little fuzzy.
Yeah, exactly. So I can if it's an actor thing, I can tell you. But if it's like a small trivia thing that is actually from the movie,
like what color was the glass? What color was a certain character's glass, or what was the name of a certain character's favorite liquor, or something like that? You'd be like,
nope, nothing. So yeah, I would need more training on that element of the trivia. Not so much on the actors' names or just the director or the writer. I'm pretty good on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you remember like those kind of details about a movie. I remember the details you can't remember.
Yes.
Maybe we would work together well on a team somewhere.
Yeah. That's why, yeah, that would be, if we formed a team, you would be my trivia guy because you pick on that kind of thing so well, especially even characters' names. I'm so bad at character names. We just did our review for
Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, I was blanked on the movie.
He's just talking about how you remember who's in it. Couldn't even remember the name of the movie.
Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
And I was blanking on so many of the characters' names, even the superheroes. I mean, it was just like I said, there's so many superheroes in there that's the kind of thing that challenges. It's information overload for me on that kind of thing. It's just because of my brain's capacity to remember certain things. I try to remember other things, just like I said, the more technical things. But yeah, that's how my brain works. It's very strange that way.
Yeah.
But this helps though. Being in front of a camera and a microphone and all that, it helps me to recall certain things because I need to in order to do a review.
Yes. You can't just be in here like, well, I saw a movie.
Yep.
I think the part Benedict Cumberbatch played was pretty cool. I don't remember the name of it. Yeah. And then he did some cool stuff and things, but I don't exactly remember the stuff and things he did.
Yeah.
That would not be an entertaining show.
No. So this helps challenge that anyway.
Yeah.
My sister was asking me today because she's taking like a psychology class, and one of her assignments right now is to write a movie but to write a report on a movie about dysfunctional family. I was like, oh, cool. So I was like able to go and like,
pick out
a couple movies. I was like, Little Miss Sunshine. Zach said, The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, talk about dysfunctional.
Yeah.
You should have said the Eddie Griffin movie Dysfunctional Family.
Oh, yeah, that's literally in the title.
Yeah. It's a stand-up special, but it talks about his dysfunctional family in a way, so it would have counted.
Yeah. But I think the one that she ended up, she said she was going to like FYE or something to go look up some Blu-rays and see what they had there. I think the one she was getting, I told her, was go with Lady Bird. Or
so she spent $50. FYEs is like,
well, if you can find it used, you get a good deal, and right now they have some pretty good deals going on.
Yeah, but they mark up the new one so much. It's
yeah, that's true.
And I'm like, no, for the same $40 I'm spending here, I can go to Target and probably get it for $20 and get me a whole nother movie.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember what the other one was that I told her, but yeah, I said Lady Bird was one of them. Oh no, Wonder was the other one. I told her to look up Wonder. Is that one it's kind of a dysfunctional family. I said it's not as dysfunctional as most people would imagine, but it does have there is
moments of they could be more nearly close to.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, the family balance there was kind of off. So I said that's an interesting one to go to, an interesting take if you really
need
not to go so traditional onto the dysfunctional part.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I said those were. I said that's the kind of stuff I like to do. If I really were to get into one specific movie and just fully dissect it, that's the kind of thing I like to do.
Then why don't you do it for the show?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to think of one. If anybody wants me to dissect a movie and to its purest form
and to its raw parts, let us know.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I just kicked the camera. There we go. I'm fixing it.
There you go.
There we go.
Yay.
Yeah, you guys on the podcast, I was fixing the camera.
Yeah.
I kicked the camera with my foot.
Yeah, he kicked it pretty good. So for the first few minutes of this video, I was off to the side.
Oh, no. Like literally, as soon as I kicked it, I said, "Oh, I just kicked that and I fixed it." So you're good for the most part.
Yeah, but I was just saying, but then it's my fault that I was off center like I was for the first few minutes of this video. I'm trying to be comfortable on this couch, and I might have shifted too far off frame.
Yeah, this one went over an hour last week. I'm still waiting on Spotify to approve of this podcast, so that way it can be fully submitted and be on Spotify. I'm like fingers crossed. I'm like, when I do things like this that normally should probably be approved, I'm always worried that it's going to get declined or rejected or something.
Yeah, we're going to
why did I get rejected? What did I do wrong here?
Like, is it not long enough? Do we need to play Tiddlywinks or something? Yeah. What do we need to do?
Like, what? I don't know. Maybe it's because this is a new thing for them actually having open submissions now for Spotify. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a while for them to actually fully realize it.
They just don't want to put no.
They don't give you like a window of time.
They don't want Benny Boo Boo and the cereal eating hour up there or nothing like that. Today I will be eating a whole box of Frosted Flakes. You just hear crunching and milk pouring for an hour. That would not be a fun podcast to listen to. With the occasional choke because he's ate too fast. Yeah. That would not be a fun one to listen to. And anybody out there with a podcast like that, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying. Yeah.
I've heard some pretty bad podcasts. So I was like, oh, an interesting like movie podcast or something, and then it'd be exactly what you just said. Somebody that doesn't know how to do sound or anything. I mean, I can't blame anybody for not knowing how to do sound. It took us almost 20 something episodes
to finally figure
out what our problems were, the sound on here. So I can't knock anybody, but as far as them submitting a podcast that way, or them having realizing that there's a problem and not fixing it.
Like you can hear like their AC buzzing in the background or something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm not even completely unsure that that's not a problem here right now.
But hey,
I haven't heard it so far. I just like physically heard it. But you never know what gets picked up on these things.
No, probably could pick up Archie snoring in the corner over here.
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, I've got it approved on a couple different things. So if you guys have a favorite podcast, what do you call those, apps or something?
App or site?
It's on most of the major ones right now.
Yeah,
so it's on iTunes. It's on Google Play. So it's out there and it's available. It's on Castbox and stuff.
Yeah, so we're out there.
Yep.
Just got to listen to us.
Yep. So and then and the video version of it is on YouTube. So
yes.
That's also really
yes.
This is fun. This is something, like I said, it's always something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I may not like to talk to people there, period. But I do like to use this information that I have stored into my head and put it out there. Maybe that might actually help my memory. Maybe I just have such an overload of...
You need to dump it somewhere.
I need to dump it. And this is my way of dumping it.
You can't hold it all because you're going to leak some of it. So, like, if I dump some here and dump some there, I have room for more.
Yeah.
You can't hold it all.
No.
Like a bucket. You fill it to the top, it's going to slosh everywhere. You got to dump some off the bucket to carry it.
Yep. So, yeah. I mean, it's like an itch. It's how it felt. Like, I was like, just always, it's like, I need to get a podcast. I need to get a YouTube channel. I need to do all this. And it was just years in the making.
Mm-hmm. and then he laid up on. Then when he's laid up on the couch, he's like, you know what? Now.
Yeah. Yep. I love hearing from people. I like whenever we get comments from people.
Yeah,
it feels good.
Yeah, we like comments. We're not one of those people who look at the comments and go, "What do these plebs want now?"
Or don't look at the comments.
No, or don't look at the comments at all, or have a auto signature on standby or something like that.
Yeah,
we actually take the time to reply from whatever we're doing. We actually take the time to reply and say thank you or offer a rebuttal to your opinion or whatever like that. So we have no problem saying hi, hello, hey, you know.
Yep, and just know that it's. I don't know at what point we might stop. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where we actually stop looking at comments. But as far as like if there's ever an overload. We might have
to make a show where we answer them all.
That would be dope.
Yeah, we get enough comments. We have to have a show where we answer them live on camera.
Yeah, that would be. That's.
We just let them know in the comments that their question's coming up in the next episode, so they know to watch.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean that's the dream. It's not. We're not at that point yet, but it's definitely looking forward to the day we can get to that point.
Yeah, and when are we going to revamp the Patreon?
Whenever we actually have viewers, I guess. We need viewers that to watch this before we could actually.
What we need to do is actually make a video for our Patreon page.
Well, yeah, but we don't. As far as I know, we get. I don't know, more when we can start averaging over 100 views. I think would be good to start a Patreon. But for now, it seems like such an I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good idea yet. It was a good idea at the time. It seemed like I thought we were off to a good start when we were like getting a couple thousand views. I don't know what happened. Whenever the monetization thing changed, we really started getting hidden, and that's not cool.
Yeah,
but
when we were on the path towards it, we were like.
Yeah, we got buried.
Yeah,
after they changed the monetization,
we just became just another channel in the sauce.
Well, it makes sense from YouTube's thing. They don't make any money off of these
our videos. So
why
spend the time recommending them?
Yep.
That means we just got to do better diligence to do the work ourselves.
Yep. And Patreon just wouldn't be the way to do it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I would never know if we're even showing up in people's sub boxes. Sometimes it seems like because we have a couple hundred people subscribed, but barely any views. So it makes me curious if we're even showing up in people's sub boxes.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. Well, I do get I wonder if they got the notifications turned on.
That's another thing. Make sure, you guys, if you are watching this
and again are subscribed. Ring the little bell in the corner.
Yeah.
That lets you know that we're up, that we've uploaded a new video, and you can watch it.
Yeah, and let you know when we're live, which is also...
which is also extra important, because
we
go live every week.
Yep. That's if one thing's been pretty good at is going live every week.
Yeah.
I do have maybe a vacation coming up sometime soon that I probably will either remotely... We'll probably still record a video.
We'll probably have something in... As to break out some behind the scenes terminology, we'll probably have an episode in the can.
Yeah, in the
can. Have an episode in the can ready to go for that weekend.
Yeah, but back to the podcast thing anyway.
Yeah, back to the show. Yeah,
I had mentioned earlier that I figured because of the theatrical experience I just had, where I was overwhelmed, to say the least. I think by the crowd. I don't do well in crowds. I don't know what it is. I went to the movie, my movie to go see Avengers I got to the movie theater at 5:00 for a 7:00 show because I wanted to beat the crowd. And I got to the front. I was all the way in the front, and I took a seat and I waited there. And the people there at the movie theater know me, so they know that I'm injured. I was in my air boot.
Yes.
My full air boot and everything. So they let me go in and get my seat, which was nice. So I got to beat the crowd, and I was just looking all over the theater. That's the other thing, is when you know that this theater sold out. This was a 200-seat theater, and when you know that it's going to sell out, and then you just want to know where you're going to sit and where you're going to be okay with sitting, especially if you're going to have to end up sitting with strangers, which is something that I don't like the idea of.
Yeah, I don't like sitting with, even though I'm a little more comfortable around people than you. Mm-hmm. I still don't like sitting next to strangers in the movie theater because I don't know.
I love the audience interaction with the movie. I love that feeling.
I love the interaction, but can you interact like in the back behind me or something? I don't want you next to me.
Yeah, so thankfully there was one empty seat because they said that they sell out at 175. They don't sell the whole 200, which was nice. But so there was one empty seat between me and two other guys. I was in a 4-seat row. Mm-hmm. One empty seat. Making sure the math adds up.
make sure the numbers are correct.
Yeah, and these two guys were great as far as just not talking to me during the movie or before the movie and stuff. So that was nice. And but one of them reeked. Yeah, I can smell the marijuana on them. I was like, oh gosh, because there was a time where I went to. And it always happens at this movie theater. I guess it's just because of the reasonably priced tickets. Somebody came in there reeking of marijuana, and it gave me a headache. Yeah, I don't do well with cigarette smoke or marijuana smell or anything like that. It gives me headaches. I'm very prone to getting migraines just from the simplest things. So thankfully I could. Because I guess maybe the smells of all the other people overpowered it. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe the smell of foods.
That was the other thing, is they ordered a lot of food. I ordered just my normal amount of food, but they ordered a lot of food. Mm-hmm. That was not my worst movie theater experience. My worst movie theater experience was when The Grudge came out. Oh. I went with a group of my friends from bowling, and we all went to go see The Grudge at the AMC 24. And that was, surprisingly, that movie sold out on its opening. We went on the opening night for that. Mm-hmm. And it sold out. It was loud. People were just going crazy, talking during the movie. It was not even like interacting with the movie talking. Like they were just talking to the people sitting next to them. It got so bad they had to cancel the movie and give everybody just like, vouchers for another movie.
Readmit passes. I remember those.
Pass. Yeah. So that was that was the first time we actually got up out of the theater to go complain, because it's like we can't enjoy this movie. This is just ridiculous. We actually told the people to please be quiet, and they wouldn't, and it was just more than just them. It just other people in the theater. It was just like a bunch of people that don't have any sense of theater courtesy or anything like that, just all in one thing. It was just such a bad time.
I can only imagine that being bad.
I was like, and I've been to other movies just because I go to so many movies now, but where it's one of those movies like the independent film where you feel like you're going to be the only person in the theater, but then like one or two people may show up in there. I went into one, I don't remember what the movie was, but it was this old man and his wife were in there, and the old man, like anytime somebody would come, I'm like, who's that? Or something, and the wife would be like, would say who the actor is or something like that, or they would, one time they were both completely wrong, which really made me mad, and I didn't have the courage to correct them, so I just had to sit there
you just had to sit there steamed like,
you're wrong, I don't want to correct you so bad.
You're wrong. But anyway, like, I have a horrible story to tell, and I also have a funny story to tell. The horrible one I'll tell first is I may have talked about it on the show before about The Watchmen.
Yeah, you told that one last week.
Yeah,
I was with you for that movie.
Yeah,
I just don't remember your discomfort.
Oh, okay. Middle of March, cold.
Oh no! You told the story. You told the story. You told about it. I just did not know about your discomfort when we went and saw it.
Oh yeah, I was sweating like I was like, not to take it there, but I was sweating like a slave on the run. I was like hiding amongst somebody. It was hot. It was like I enjoyed the movie, but I could have been a few degrees cooler.
What's funny was you were the person that got me into the midnight premieres. That was a midnight premiere that we went to, and because it was like before trailers were like all over the internet and stuff like that. This is back when like your fastest internet may have been like DSL broadband. Yeah, that's exactly what the internet I had at the time was. But yeah, that was because you said, "Hey, are you going to go see Watchmen?" I was like, "What in the world's Watchmen? I never even heard of Watchmen." He's like, "You haven't heard of Watchmen?" He's like, they were telling me about it being like a really dark R-rated superhero movie. I was like, wow, that sounds really cool. I never even heard of that. Because like I said, I never heard of Watchmen and never saw the trailer. And and we went there and it was like sold out in their biggest theater. I was like, what in the world? It's like, I go, how am I the only person in the world that's never heard of The Watchmen? And I did enjoy The Watchmen. That was like one of the second Zack Snyder movies I think he had made. I think as far as outside of like Dawn of the Dead. The Dawn of the Dead was before that, but still, yeah, that was.
And I also enjoyed that movie too.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead, 300, and then that were all good movies. He was off to a good start.
He was off to a good start. Then Sucker Punch. Yeah. then he kind of came back with Legends of the Guardians.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, that was. You were the person that I think that was probably I don't know if that was the first midnight premiere we had gone to together, but it was definitely one of the first ones we had gone to.
Yeah, because
we were going to a lot. After a while,
it was like that was just something we did. It was like, hey,
yeah, because we got off of work at like 11.
Yeah, so like
we'd either go to Walmart or we'd go to a midnight premiere.
Yeah, because we didn't feel like going right back home. Yeah. It was really weird. And like, well, most times you get off of work, you want to go home. Not us. No. We because we enjoy hanging out. We're like, well, what you want to do now? Yeah. Want to go to Walmart and just troll electronics for a little bit? Yeah.
I had to take this to a dark place, but I remember the first time we actually hung out after work. Do you remember that day? The first time or outside of work, not after work, outside of work. Do you remember that day?
I think I do.
You know why I'm saying I'm taking this to a dark place.
I think I know why too.
Oh God, it was such an awkward thing for me to. It seemed like a crappy thing, but now we can laugh about it.
It was
like a crappy thing for me to do, since this was the first time we had ever hung out outside of work.
Yeah,
because we had tried so many times to go hang out outside of work, and it was just not happening.
Yeah,
it was because I wasn't telling you something.
Yeah,
only one person at work knew the situation I was going through.
He didn't tell me, and I guess that means I was a closer friend to the person he actually told.
Yeah, it was only because there was an old lady that I used to walk out to her car after.
Miss Ann?
Yeah, Miss Ann.
Yeah.
There was an older lady I used to walk out to her car all the time. So I told her that my dad was sick with cancer. So I was she's the only one at work that knew about that until okay. So yeah, she was the only one that knew about that. And you and I had always tried to make plans to go hang out after work, and I would be like, I can't do it tonight because my dad would be sick, but I would just never told you. It wasn't that I was trying to keep it secret from you.
I don't blame you.
It was just a hard thing to talk about.
Yeah, it's like that's tough to talk about, and not to blame you for that.
So,
we finally got together.
Yeah, we finally got together. I pulled up to your house.
Yes.
And you got in the car, and you're like, hey man, what's going on? I was like, this was moments, like literally less than probably an hour or two. I said, well, my dad died today. So bad. That was
I'm like,
world. I'm like, I never told you about it.
I'm like, so I'm sitting in the car, like, why am I here right now?
You're like, do you want to reschedule? I was like, no. As my grandma told me, she's like, I was like, should I still go hang out? I was like, yes, you need to go get your mind off of things. You need to go hang out. I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, did I kick it again? I was like, so I said, okay.
So he breaks this news on me, and now I'm sitting in the car like in my own driveway, like, do I even want to go now?
Yeah.
And like one hand, I want to go hang out, but under these circumstances, for the first time.
Yeah, because we were gonna go bowling. That was what we wanted to go.
We wanted to go bowling, but it was like,
well, we did go bowling.
We
but
did.
That was what we always were planning. Our plans were always to try to go bowling.
Yeah, even though I suck at it, I do like to do it.
So I took you bowling, and I was like, it's like my sister and my brother-in-law want to meet us here too because they want to go bowling too, and they met us at the bowling alley, and because the bowling alley was my dad's place. That's where my dad met my mom, was the bowling alley. So everybody there knew my dad, and everybody there had already heard about my dad dying. So when we walked into the bowling alley, the lady behind the counter was bawling her eyes out and had her arms open for me, trying to give me a hug. And I was like, why did I decide to go hang out?
Why today of all days am I here for this? I'm sitting there like
EJ I was like, gosh, but that's why you're one of my best friends, because you went through that and you still wanted to hang out with me.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so we'll be doing this the next time. I'm like,
it became seemingly. The day wasn't like completely awkward. At least it kind of started becoming an okay day after all
after the initial shock wore off.
The initial shock wore off, it became an okay day.
It became an okay day. I think my whole goal was that day was, well, since this did happen, I'm going to sit here and help him forget about it.
Yeah.
To help him get his mind off of it.
Excellent.
Yeah. I said, it's like, whoo, let's talk about a friendship test.
Yeah.
Like, whoo.
Yeah.
Like you said, we can laugh about it now.
Laugh about it now.
But that first initial meeting, it was like,
this is actually our first time even talking about
since.
Yeah, we never talked about it after that.
I'm like, wow. It was like move one. Yeah. It's like, okay, let's go to the bowling alley. Oh, by the way, my dad died.
Yeah.
What? I'm sitting there in the car like, dude, I'm sitting there like, how do I process this? Yes. It's like, I'm like, what happened? I'm like, do I ask what happened?
Yeah.
Is it okay to ask? Was it an accident?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. So I'm sitting there in the car freaking like, do I talk about it at all? Do I talk about it to help him get over it?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah, it's the ultimate thing that nobody that has a problem with talking to people. Like I would not have known what to do in that situation. I probably would have figured it out, depending on the person I'm talking to.
Oh, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm like figuring it. I'm like dodging landmines in real time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say too much, and then it tips the scale, and then and then he's like, well, he didn't forget about it. And then I was like, whew.
Yeah.
So talk about it. Like I said, like I just said a minute ago, talk about a friendship test.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I passed because I'm here now. It's like, yo. Talk about an auspicious start to a friendship.
Yeah. But after that, we hung out a lot.
Outside of work friendship, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that was literally, my dad passed away April 2009, and like I said, I started working with you at Kmart in August 2007. So I think we may have been doing our Walmart hangouts and stuff, but this was like literally like the first time outside of that kind of
outside of that kind of thing.
Yeah, we actually hung out.
Yeah, and we hung out for a good little while.
Yeah,
it was always fun whenever we hung out too.
Yeah, and then we brought in my childhood friend Jones.
Yes.
We call him Jones. His name's Jordan, but we call him Jones.
Yeah, we brought him along. It was fun. He was along.
Yeah,
he
was the gamer too. So
yeah,
y'all.
Yeah, we had a lot in common there. Yeah. If he's watching this video, hello to him too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was some fun times.
Yes.
Then I moved to Tennessee, and then we kind of didn't necessarily drift apart. We just kept in touch like that,
like that, because
we're not like on the phone friends like that.
Nah, we like, but here lately since we've been doing this show, Facebook Messenger has been helping us a lot.
Heck yeah.
He doesn't have to talk on the phone that much, and I can say what I gotta say and fix things in real time and all like that. So yeah.
That's I'm in when I'm talking to like a girlfriend. That's the only time I ever usually am on the phone outside of texting is if I'm dating somebody, or a family member. I talk to my mom or my sister or something like that, but I don't do long conversations on the phone, not longer than they need to be. But Yeah, that was. I always seem to find a girlfriend that doesn't like to text, which I'm okay with. I don't like texting if I'm in a romantic relationship. I don't like the texting part because my humor gets lost in text.
Oh yeah, because inflection, you can't do inflection on the keyboard. All that is lost on the keyboard.
And humor is almost the only thing I have.
Like my one crowning jewel can't be used over a text message, so it makes sense.
Because most of the time, for some reason, they're not usually movie fans, or they're not fans, or they're very picky about the kind of movies that they watch.
They like The Notebook a lot, don't they?
Sort of. Well.
Y'all
know that
they like the bad romantic comedies.
I haven't made it. I've made it somewhat clear to some people, maybe have picked up on the fact that I'm religious or that I'm a Christian. That's what I'd rather prefer to call it.
Okay.
So have not made that. Or if people have not picked up on that yet, that's what. There's one thing I always said we never would, except for like in this kind of thing, we never talk about religion or anything on the channel. We try not to push any sort of agenda.
Yeah.
We review Christian movies fairly.
We review them as movies, and that's it.
Yes. So we would
not less in the case of like the original God's Not Dead, we feel the message has been distorted.
Yeah.
Then we're coming guns blazing.
So if people have not picked up on that, I'm a Christian. So the girls I date are normally more traditional Christians than I am, I guess. I grew up in a very traditional church. So, but the girls that I normally have dated have always been usually traditional Christians. So watching anything over that's not maybe a God's Not Dead or Courageous or Fireproof.
If it's not Pure Flicks,
if it's not Pure Flicks.
I see what you're saying.
Or Disney. It's either got to be Pure Flicks or Disney.
If it steps outside that PG area, you're in for a bad time.
So that's why it's always normally hard to rely on the whole movie thing. Some people get turned off even if I tell them that I review movies. It's like, oh jeez. So yeah, I don't know. It's a trivial thing. It just because normally the girls I meet are usually at church. That's why it's such a difficult thing, I guess, to find somebody that has the same faith, but also has an open mind, I guess.
Who's religious but does enjoy a good Tarantino movie?
Yeah,
they're out there. You just gotta find
the people. My friends from church all are the ones that introduced me to Tarantino and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes.
That's just how it goes. My friends can have faith and also enjoy a good movie, I guess.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I believe in God and everything too, but I still enjoy movies, Right. I'm not turned off by a movie just because my religion. That's because of religious sakes.
Right.
Like if that was the case, I wouldn't enjoy the Avengers at all. I wouldn't enjoy. There's a whole lot of movies that would be cut out if that was the case.
Right.
And I can't just do that. Right. I enjoy these movies.
Yeah.
So and that's enough on that. Let's turn that off before we get hate comments. Let's turn that off. The stream on that is closed.
Yeah.
But back to what we talk about horrible movie experiences. I got a funny one.
Mm-hmm.
Remember this animated movie come out a long time ago called Titan AE?
Oh yeah, Titan AE.
I have a funny story about that movie. It didn't happen to me specifically,
Drew
but
Barrymore, is that the one?
Yeah, Drew Barrymore and Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yeah.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. There was a movie theater in Chesapeake a long time ago. I live in Virginia, by the way, Chesapeake, Virginia. It was a Regal movie theater that was all over in Chesapeake. It was called Funscape. Remember that place?
No. Oh, Funscape. Yeah, it was in the mall. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was cool about it, it was like a full movie theater connected with like a giant 2-floor arcade with bumper cars and laser tag and all that in it.
Yeah, that was in the Greenbrier Mall. Now it's a cinema cafe, I think.
I think the Funscape part is like a gym now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That hurt my heart to see that. Because
that wasn't very long ago either. Because I went on a date with a girl to a fair last year, and I saw the Funscape was like closing up.
Yeah. But anyway, back to my story. So that's what we went over. That's the theater we went and saw Titan E in. Because if we do go that way, we set it up where we go see a movie, leave the movie, and then spend a lot of time in the Funscape part.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there watching Titan and enjoying the movie, and then I hear these his big brother and little brother in front of me. The big brother just turns to the other one and goes, "JB, did you fart?" And I'm like, in this quietest scene in the movie, I just go, "JB, did you fart?" And JB goes, "Yeah," and then just start dying laughing in the seat, and a few other of us in the theater start laughing because, like I said, since it was so quiet, we heard them.
Right.
And they weren't exactly like, they were like a few rows in front of me, so it was kind of loud.
Yeah.
so every time I watch Titan AE and I see that scene, I hear it faintly in the back of my mind. JP, did you fart? I'm still thinking about that day though.
Oh man, no.
I remember one time. I'm trying to remember a story about one time I went to the movie, and somehow, some way, we were in the theater by ourselves. And we were there like mad early.
With me and you?
No, this is me and my.
Oh, you and your friend.
Like me and my friend Alex from a long time ago, and his little brother. So we sitting there, and we had like, this is back when AMC had an open campus where you can bring your own food in.
Oh wow, okay.
So we decided that we were going to go see a movie. I think it was Mean Girls that we went and go see.
Cool.
And we decided that we weren't going to have popcorn. We were going to do something different.
Oh man.
So what we did, we got Krispy Kreme donuts and a gallon of milk.
Holy cow.
And carried that to the movies.
My lactose intolerance is going insane thinking about that.
I didn't even know you were lactose intolerant.
I drink almond milk.
Oh, you about silk.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So then we go to the courtesy. So we go to the concession stand and ask for 2 courtesy cups.
Ooh.
Yeah, no ice because you don't need milk. Because you don't need milk with cold ice with cold milk.
No. So
we sitting in the movies eating hot Krispy Kreme donuts with a cold cup of milk. I was like, and I guess that's the night they drew the line and said no more of that. Because we used to come in with like McDonald's, Chinese food. It would just be like whatever we wanted. One time, like we went to the midnight of episode 3. Me and him did. And here's the funny part about that: we camped out.
Did you?
we were like, well, you know, we only live once.
Yeah.
And so we camped out in front of the theater all day for like 12, 13 hours before that movie started.
I can't think of anything I've ever done that for. I think the only time I've ever semi-camped out was I showed out like 6 or 7 hours early for an Avett Brothers concert because it was like across the water and I just wanted to beat traffic and crowd. It was at the what used to be called the Intellos Pavilion. It's now something else now.
The Veterans Home Loan.
Oh no, that's the Virginia Beach one.
Oh
yeah, they changed this one to something else.
Oh okay.
But yeah.
Yes, I remember Intellos.
Yeah, Intellos is gone. Well, it's actually I was dating a girl up in Front Royal, Virginia. That's where it moved. It moved up close to DC. I said, "Oh, look, there's Intellos."
Yeah. Intellos is still a thing.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when you had a cell phone. Yeah, that was a flip phone. And if you accidentally open up your internet browser on your phone,
your parents would murder you.
Yes. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Yep.
You're like, oh no! So you're hitting that red cancel button as hard as you can, but it's like trying to load. And you're like, no.
Yeah, there's $50.
Yeah,
just from that.
Yeah, kids today. See, smartphones today has made it easy to have internet, unlimited data, and all this and all like that. But back in the day, that was the definition of privilege.
Yes. I know. I've had a cousin that got in trouble from his grandmother, I believe it was, because he was like my great aunt. But like he ran over $1,000 on her cell phone bill messing around with Brew or whatever that thing was called that was on there.
Brew. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and ringtones and all that stuff. It was over $1,000 the cell phone bill was. It was bad. But it was funny because I had with the model, my first flip phone, it just had a regular picture camera on it, like a 0.5 megapixel camera.
That was a lot of technology back then.
Yeah. But my dad, he got his first cell phone was a flip phone, and his was just like the next model above mine, and his took video. I was really jealous at the time. I was so jealous. I was like, yours could take videos. I was like, I'd be making short films right now if I had that phone. All I had was my 0.5 megapixel camera, and his was like probably a 1 megapixel at the most video camera.
Yes.
It was like
technology. The technology was. I thought I was doing something because my phone had like a soccer game on it.
Oh yeah.
Like a little cheap little soccer game. It was like
times have changed.
Times have greatly changed. Like right now, this phone right here, right next to me, has Street Fighter 4 Champion Edition on it.
Yeah. Yeah, they can play Fortnite on it too.
Yeah, they've been Fortnite on iPhone, but it's not available on Android yet. But they're working on it.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But yeah.
PUBG's on here.
Oh jeez, man, I don't play it even.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the crazy stuff.
Technology is amazing. It's scary.
It's always advancing.
Mm-hmm. We just saw a video not even 5 minutes ago of way more than 5 minutes ago. We've been doing the show about an hour
5 minutes
now.
Before the show.
Yeah, but 5 minutes before this show here, we saw what would be like the first easy implementation of hologram technology.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought just the way that they were doing it. Well, that's still not as cool as the way that they do it for like the concerts and stuff.
Well, no, of course not.
Still for practical use. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And it's based off of old technology.
Yeah, it's based off
of... That's something that people have been doing, like you can do with like text.
Yeah,
you can watch full videos with it.
And like they had the little clock, like the little clocks that moved this really fast.
Yeah,
the
fiber optics.
Yeah, you just scrolled messages because you'd flash the lights really fast and scroll a message as it's swinging through the air.
Yeah.
It's kind of based on that technology, but it's brighter and clearer LEDs.
Yeah.
And a fast motor.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
My dad was always really good at keeping up with technology.
Uh-huh.
But I remember him being impressed by wireless internet. It was before he passed away, I installed Wi-Fi. So this was early 2009. I was when we first got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was with DSL internet, so it's still really crappy.
Verizon DSL.
Yeah,
that was the only one.
Verizon DSL with wireless internet.
Because Cox didn't have high speed yet. No, it was just Verizon.
As I used my employee discount at Kmart to buy an old like Linksys router.
That was back when you had to buy your own routers and things too.
Yeah.
It wasn't one piece like it is now.
I don't know how many routers I bought from Kmart. I bought a lot just from that short time.
Yeah, because they kept upgrading them.
Yeah, because they were like. As I bought like a G1, and then it was like, it's like I can't get a connection upstairs. Like, oh, you need an N with dual band. I was like, oh, come on. So I bought an N, and then I realized I didn't have dual band, and then I got the dual band one. So I returned it and got an N with dual band.
Yeah, the routers
was annoying stuff back there. But I set up my dad. He made a MySpace before he passed away, so he was connecting with all these people, and he was like, yeah, I gave him my laptop, and he was just like, I was like. You know what? Remember at the time where it's like you're impressed by the number of friends you had on MySpace?
Yeah, you were like, how many people? Like, who's going to be in my top 8 today?
Because my dad because he was stuck at home because he had cancer and stuff, and he was on MySpace. He was ranking up more friends than I had on my MySpace, and he was like getting like he was like a social networking guru before he passed away of MySpace, and he was just like keeping people updated on stuff, and he was just like so impressed because he's like, I'm doing this wireless thing.
Like there's no cords here.
No cords here, and I'm on the internet.
Uh-huh.
He was so amazed by it. I was like, it's insane to think about how that's changed. So it's such a common thing now.
It's like your internet's not wireless.
Yeah. And it wasn't that long ago. 9 years ago.
And I found out that there's some people who are still using America Online dial-up.
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine trying to do anything on dial-up today?
No.
You'd rip your hair out first.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we'll go ahead and close out of this thing now.
All right. Well,
we've hit the hour.
We've hit an hour, and we've talked about all kinds of weird things and stuff, and I think that's enough. People will probably
we had our clickbait conversation.
Yeah. Well, what should we title?
I don't think I'm going to title that anything. I don't think I'm going to do that part of the title. I don't know. We'll figure out something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let that be a surprise.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, again, put this back on here again. There we go. My name is Walker Cheatham. You can reach me at Walker Cheatham on any of my social medias.
I'm EJ Flemming. You can find me at all these social medias.
Yeah, well, for the podcast listeners, it's at
at Geek Jams EJ. Yeah,
at Geek Jams EJ.
I forget that people are going to be listening to this one.
yeah. I am at Walker Cheatham.
I gave the dramatic Price is Right hand. And all this can be yours if the price is right.
Anyways, guys, remember Remember, you guys can watch our Movie Champ show, our most recent Movie Champ show, where we did our spoiler-free review of what's it called? Avengers: Infinity War, and also check out our most other movie reviews, and also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and like and comment. And we will.
I may not be pointing at anything correctly, but just click the stuff and do the thing.
All right, guys. See you later. I ordered just my normal amount of food, but they ordered a lot of food. So.